Welcome, everybody, to the Coach Brew podcast. I've got Jon Rennie as my guest here, and it's not really the Coach Brew podcast, but if he's giving free shout-outs, like, I'll just shout out my own podcast. You are listening, in fact, to the XFactor podcast, and that's John riding shotgun over there, and then down there is the DFE. Parker, can you change your name on your screen to the DFE?
Yeah.
I feel like the amount of coaching and mentoring that we have to do with this intern who's supposed to be the show producer, it is no the DFE, not DFE, the DFE. It's unbelievable. Anyway, this is the XFactor podcast with Coach Brew and the great Jon Rennie, who just saluted you. If you're listening on iTunes or wherever podcasts are sold for free, he just saluted you. If you're on YouTube and you didn't stand up and salute back, there's an officer on deck. You should have.
Always. Coach Brew.
Rennie, what's up? What's up, buddy?
Coach Brew, how are you today? I heard that you got snow last night, or you're going to get snow today.
We had snowmageddon, snowpocalypse, a bomb cyclone, a nor'easter, a blizzard. And it was the storm of the century of the year of the week of the month, or, well, that's how they say it on TV, like Storm Center, because, we have to turn storms into brands and give them names and things to scare
bomb
people.
Cyclone. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a bomb cyclone?
You want to know what a bomb cyclone is, DFE?
Yeah. What is the definition of a bomb cyclone?
Up here, what we call it is winter. Where you get snow in Maine in December. Shocking development, I know.
And they call it a bomb cyclone.
So a nor'easter is also known as a bomb cyclone because what happens when it swirls around and it comes up the coast and swirls around in the Gulf, it undergoes what's called bombogenesis. No idea what that means, other than it just kind of sits there and hovers and quote,
I like that band when I was in high school, Bombogenesis.
They're like
Phil Collins?
Alternative music, right?
I think it was Phil Collins wasn't he?
Bombogenesis, yes, Phil Collins.
Wait, Phil Collins, doesn't he? You know what? I'm not even gonna. Actually, I am gonna say this.
Google it, Parker.
Phil Collins, he did like the Tarzan music, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. Kids today, I tell you. So anyway, bombogenesis is when it kind of bombs out and it just sort of hovers over wherever it is, and you get hammered by all this weather, or what we call it in Maine, a winter day. We got 5 inches of snow, didn't lose power, no trees came down, there were no roads closed. Like it's just the marketing of a storm.
And you're in your office, so you're able to get out of your house into the office.
Yeah, the roads are fine. So shout out to, no free shout outs, shout out to the road crews in the state of Maine. You will not find anyone finer when it comes to snow removal. Fun fact. Yeah, it's a joke. Like, I don't know. It's a conspiracy, I think, between the grocery stores and the news channels, But for everyone listening, I hope you'll subscribe to the podcast wherever podcasts are sold for free or on YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, watching on YouTube, and you can learn fun facts like bombogenesis and movie quotes, in addition to just learning about the X Factor. Coach Rennie.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir. What's the topic of today's show?
Well, the reason I want to start off talking about snow and talking about winter is that we've got a big holiday coming up, and that is Christmas. And despite how everyone...
No offense to the Hanukkah crowd.
No offense to them.
We don't want to get canceled by the Hanukkah crowd.
No, or all the other ones.
Festivus.
Festivus.
You have a Festivus poll. I hope I didn't piss you off.
Yes. But we got a big holiday coming up, and despite the fact that many politicians want to cancel this holiday, we're still going to have it. And when we have this holiday, it's called Christmas, and we have one major character in Christmas, and who is that?
The Grinch.
Well, yeah.
Oh, no, your buddy, your favorite movie.
Elf.
Will Ferrell.
By the way,
which I'm sure Parker's never seen
No,
and
I
doesn't
haven't
know who
seen-
Will
have you
Ferrell
seen
is.
Elf
I
yet?
have seen that.
Oh, okay. Because it is a favorite of your fiance, girlfriend, family. So if you
yeah.
haven't seen it yet, you could get in trouble on your side. But yeah,
Absolutely.
Elf is a major character. That's true. But who does he know?
Who does Will Ferrell knows a lot of people.
Santa. I know him.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
very
okay.
famous line. from
Santa, I know him.
I know him. So we're going to talk about Santa, and because Santa is one of those guys that has got the X factor, right? He's an amazing character in history, but also in every holiday, every year that we have this Christmas holiday. He is the center of attraction, the big fat. Everybody knows him, big fat.
What'd you call me?
No, I didn't call you that.
The big. You called me. You called
The
me the big
BFE?
fat. The BFA, the big. You got the the DFE and the BFA.
BFA.
All
We're
right.
changing your name right now. So
Sweet.
no, but I mean, everybody knows who he is. He's jolly. He's happy. He's Saint
Yep.
Nick, right? He's got the red outfit. He's covered with the white fur, and he's got Mrs. Claus. He's got the elves. They make all the gifts, and he flies
White
around.
fur? Is he a Yeti?
No, but he
His
gives
fur?
away Yetis. He gives away Yetis to all of the people in the South. They get a Yeti for Christmas. But
Only if they
like-
have a mullet. They have to have a mullet.
right.
Yeah.
So he flies around. Everybody knows what he does, but he's an amazing guy. But so who better to talk about on this episode as we're entering the holiday season, but Santa Claus, Saint Nick himself.
I thought you were gonna say who better to talk about an amazing guy than a couple of amazing guys and Coach Brew.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, but I didn't say it. So
Sweet.
do you know anything about the original Saint Nick, by the way? Saint Nicholas? Anybody know? Anybody any idea when he was born and
Yeah,
where he
it's-
was born?
He was probably born in a hospital.
No.
No, I know. Born in infancy.
He was
Infancy.
born as a baby, yes. Yeah.
Oh, so I was right.
Right.
Oh, you meant geographically.
Geographically, try to narrow down where you think in the world that Saint Nicholas was born. The real
All right.
Saint Nicholas.
I'm gonna
He's kind of got a hipster beard.
Not at the time when he was
Probably
born.
Scandinavian country.
Okay.
He
No.
wears like plaid wool
Wait.
pants and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a guess. I'm gonna take
Sure.
Canada.
Canada. No. See, back then,
Canada? He doesn't apologize for everything. He's not
You don't say
Canadian.
A after every Merry Christmas, eh? So, get this. He was born in 280 AD in a town called Patara in the country which is now Turkey.
You didn't even let me guess. You just let Parker guess. And yeah,
Well, you weren't going to get it.
I was going to say somewhere like the
we were-
Scandinavian country, like Denmark, Finland.
No.
Yeah.
I would have said no, but you weren't on the right track, so I figured I'd give you the answer. So Turkey, born
He's
in Turkey.
Turkish?
Yeah.
Wow.
The original St. Nicholas. So, anyways, I did a little research on St. Nicholas, and it turns out he's a pretty cool guy. And there's more to the story behind the original Santa than I ever really realized. Did you know?
No,
that-
I didn't.
Not only was he kind of the patron saint of gift giving, he was also considered the patron saint of sailors and ships.
Really?
He was the protector of sailors on the high seas.
Why is
And
that?
actually, that's the reason why he became so popular as a character throughout history.
So he was a sailor, Santa.
No. But
Was
he
he a
was the patron.
was he a submariner?
No. A submariner? No. But get this. So he
Patron saint of the high seas.
Yeah, so interesting. So, and that's why his name and his reputation spread so far and wide because of sailors talking about him and actually praying to him as they were in tough situations on the sea. But let me go back a little bit before I tell you a little bit about how he became the patron saint of sailors.
You'd
I want-
think he'd be Air Force. I mean, his sleigh flies.
So that is a good point, but it is not true. It's actually the patron saint of sailors because back then there didn't have anything that flew. Something like
Flung. Yep.
that. Flown. So get this. So he was born to wealthy parents, which was kind of unusual back in 280 AD, right? And the people, his parents who raised him, they were devout Christians, but they died during an epidemic while Nicholas was just, he was very young at the time, and his parents died. But they
If
left
they'd have
him.
just worn a freaking mask.
That's exactly it. I was thinking exactly this. It's a perfect 2020 episode to talk about St. Nick. His parents died in a global pandemic when he was just young, but they were wealthy, and all the money went to Nicholas as a child, and he dedicated himself to living out. And this is what he read the words, the biblical words that Jesus said in the Bible. Said, "Sell what you own and give your money to the poor." He lived by that message his entire life.
Really? Because everything you just described sounds like he's like a blue blood, old money, born on third base, thinks he hit a triple in life kind of guy.
He was, but he wanted to give it away.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's an interesting story. So he decided to spend his entire inheritance on the needy, the sick, and the suffering. And that's how he built a reputation for who he was as a person. Eventually he became a bishop and in the church. And at that point, the church was not well defined, if you will, but he became a bishop. And he became known for this guy that traveled throughout the lands, and he gave to people in need, and he gave to families. And one of the things he did is interesting is he would leave gifts when he would go into when he would leave gifts for children. He would put them in their shoes. So he would leave like small gifts in their shoes. And
so when he was done breaking and entering,
exactly.
So like back all then, creepy sliding down your chimney, he would put stuff in your shoes.
He would put stuff in the shoes, and that's where the whole tradition of stocking stuffing came because of what it's actually he really did that, which I thought was interesting. I didn't know that. So
yeah, that actually is interesting. But what if you put like Legos in some kids' shoes? That would suck. That would really suck.
I think that's the history of Legos right there, is you put some in a kid's shoe and then dropped a couple on the way out by accident. A parent heard some noise, went out in the living room to see what happened. They heard a clatter and they went out to the living room to see what was the matter. Stepped on a freaking Lego and screamed a 4-letter word at the top of their lungs in the middle of the night.
Is this the
plausible?
You've just rewritten. You've rewritten The Night Before Christmas, basically.
Yeah.
You stepped on a Lego. I like that.
And it was usually dad, right? And dad's probably half in the bag from assembling a bicycle earlier in the night, like, and exhausted. So.
Yeah. So Santa was, so this Saint Nick, he's a pretty good guy. He was bishop. He's Bishop Nicholas. He became known as. He traveled all over. So interesting. So this is the story how he became the patron saint of sailors and mariners
and submariners.
Exactly. So he traveled to the Holy Land. He wanted to go see, the Holy Land. He traveled by ship there. Nothing happened on the way there, but on the way back, they got in a terrible storm. And it's rumored that he sat up on the top deck and he prayed, and then the storm cleared, and all the sailors that were on the boat were just completely amazed. And they told their friends, who told their friends, who told their friends, and eventually it became known that Bishop Nicholas could calm the seas. So it became rumored that he actually could calm the seas.
He's like a junior varsity Moses. He could calm them. He just couldn't part them.
No, he couldn't part them. He just could settle them down, which is kind of interesting.
Moses.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. I didn't really realize that Saint Nicholas was the patron saint of sailors as well.
That's some XFactor stuff right there.
Yeah, totally XFactor. I mean, so it's interesting because we talk about people who can make a difference, right? Or make a difference. Yep. So here's a guy, just like you said. He inherited all this money, and what he could have just built up,
trust fund baby. Yeah.
Yeah. He could have just built up a mansion. He had Parker around him. Yeah, exactly. And just had a good old time and drank bourbon all day long. But instead he decided to give it away. And he became this, lovable creature that we know, 2,000 years later, we celebrate him or we recognize him. So he did something unique and different with the money that he was given. So instead of saying, oh, woe is me, my parents are dead, all I got is a couple mil in the bank, he said, I'm going to do something with that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think
awesome.
Santa's a guy with the X factor. Now, all the stuff about flying reindeers and going down chimneys and what else does he do? We got elves. I mean, none of that stuff is consistent with history, but it does make for good storytelling.
Let's talk a little bit about the urban myth of Santa too, because that's some X Factor stuff. I mean, he is probably the foremost time management expert in the history of our great land.
Yeah, no, so you think about it. I don't know if you guys have ever done the NORAD track Santa with, well, I don't know.
Every year.
With your kids. I did it with my kids growing up. And I was always like, oh, he's in, Philadelphia, he's in Boston. And then my boys are like, oh, we got to get home and get to bed. He's going to get here really soon. And, but
he's in New Zealand. Now he's in North Carolina.
Exactly.
Wow. He's fast.
So yeah, it was really hard when my boys were coming up to sort of plan, when to get them into bed, based on the NORAD thing, because they were like, wait, this doesn't make much sense, Dad. How is he dropping gifts off? And yeah, so my kids early on realized something was up. So
that might actually be good use of taxpayer dollars, NORAD Santa. It's one of those rare occasions where the federal government is making good use of our tax dollars.
It's probably the first time, actually.
Yep.
Other than when they built a Trident submarine, but other than that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the Trident submarine.
Yeah, the people that make the gum Trident, 4 to 5 dentists recommend Trident to the patients that chew gum. No free shout outs to Trident. They also make submarines, Parker.
Absolutely. It's just made out of gum, like hardened gum.
They diversified, Yeah.
Yeah. Also known as an Ohio class submarine. So I use the Trident name, but it's also an Ohio class. Just a big submarine. That's all. But anyways, let's go back to the legend of Santa, or the current myths of Santa. So,
time management
guru. Okay. Got that right.
What else gives him the X factor?
Flying reindeer.
The reindeer, the 12 tiny reindeer.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
It's like
Peter, Paul, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Who am I missing? That's 6. It's only 6.
It's the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Right.
So 8 tiny reindeer, right? There's 12 apostles, 8 reindeer. Let's go to our resident austere religious scholar, Parker, the DFE. How many apostles were there, Parker?
I thought there was 9 apostles. Wait, am I wrong? I'm looking this up.
They only let him out of the hospital once a month, folks. Today was the day.
Oh, 12 apostles. I don't know why I said 9.
How many reindeer are there, Parker?
Well, if we're going off apostles, it's 12. I don't know how many reindeer there are.
Not including Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph makes it an uneven number.
He makes it 9.
Yeah, because he has to lead the sleigh.
He's got the high beams.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's 8 reindeer.
Right.
Dopey, sleepy, bashful.
It's Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, and Blitzen.
Blitzen. And that's what I'm going to be doing this year. Blitzen.
Vixen's your stage name, isn't it, John?
I don't like to talk about that time in my life.
All right. So Santa, I think the one Achilles heel, tragic flaw of Santa, the time management guru, is that he drove his own vehicle.
Right. Why doesn't he have one of the elf just drive so he can get in and out quickly? And
yeah. It should kind of be like a limo. If you're a baller like Santa, you should have a driver.
You should have a driver. That's a good point. That's
car service, sleigh service, whatever, I'm pretty sure Van Halen didn't drive his own tour bus.
No, he didn't.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Why does Santa drive his own sleigh?
Yep. No, that's a good point right there. Here's the other thing too, and it really puts to shame all these people who are, and again, I don't want to offend people who are vegans, but well, let's talk about them a little bit. But all these people who have these very strange diet restrictions and what have you, and they got to lose weight, you got to be fit because that's the only way you're gonna have long life, right? Here's Santa just smashing cookies, drinking milk, flying around, eating whatever people leave out for him. He's fat, he's overweight, right? And he's lived 2,000 years. Amazing.
Yeah. Nothing against vegans, but like if you think veganism's healthy, cows are vegan. Have you ever seen a cow?
They're not very healthy.
It's not a healthy looking thing. I mean, it's delicious. It's not healthy, but a cow's vegan.
I went on the whole anti-vegan thing, but I figured maybe cookies and milk are vegan. I don't know. Are they? I don't know. I'm not a vegan.
I'm sorry. I can't eat that. It's not a gluten-free cookie. Hipster Santa. Well, no, Hipster Santa would say that. Yeah. Yeah. He's not really leading by example if he's a beach whale and a beard and a red suit.
Sure. Right? I mean, he'd be high risk for COVID, based on his pre-existing conditions.
Oh yeah. Diabesity.
Yeah.
Isn't that the term?
Diabesity.
Parker, diabesity.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
I'm looking that up right now, actually, because I'm interested to see what in the world that even means. I feel like it's going to pull up something I don't want to see.
It means if you're obese and diabetic, you got diabesity.
Oh, wait, there actually is a word.
Mm-hmm.
It says, oh, wait. What in the world?
Yeah, it probably says what I just told
you.
Yeah,
never mind. I'm not gonna. Yeah, we'll leave that one out.
Yeah, if you're wondering, go to Urban Dictionary. So we got 12 reindeer. We got the elves. Like I think Santa, as high risk as he is probably the reason he has all those elves in the toy shop making presents, because he can't even keep up with the little person.
Right.
He's so out of shape. Right. So he has lots of little people to help him.
I also think too, the whole idea of going down a chimney to me, would say that he probably needs to be of a smaller size, right? Mm-hmm. You would think that being obese is not an efficient way to go down a chimney.
I mean, unless that suit's made of Crisco,
right?
How does he slide up and down that chimney?
It's something that always bothered me as a kid too, because I, maybe I was led that way, kind of a science and math kind of kid, and I would look at the chimney and think about a person. I'm like, man, I don't think this is real. I think they would have been better off perpetuating a myth of like a tiny Santa, that could slide up and down a chimney and then magically make presents appear, like Harry Potter.
Yeah, or it could be Santa's elves. Maybe why? I mean, Santa, he's just a baller. He's probably sitting up on top of the roof, and he's like, "Hey, elf, can you slide down the chimney?"
He just throws the presents down to them while they're in the chimney.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't the elves deliver the gifts? Right? He sits in his chair up at the top of the roof, and the elves, who are the small size, can load the presents up and down. I mean, that seems
makes
like
more sense. Yeah.
If you're going to perpetuate a myth, let's do it right. Let's embrace some reality. So.
But then, like today, it's 2020. He'd be accused of like child labor, some sort of human rights violation for violating child labor.
Probably so.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But the elves could also be like, if Santa is 2,000 years old, then the elves could also be like hundreds of years old, right? Am I?
It could be. Yeah. But here's the other thing. What if they're undocumented? Like they're taking American jobs.
Oh gosh.
From the North Pole.
Yeah, that's just an interesting question. The North Pole. What is the sovereign territory of who and what?
Well, Parker, can you Google that?
Yeah.
Search that, young Jamie. That was a quote.
Jamie, bring that up. That's going to be our line. Parker, bring that up.
Yeah. So he's, I think Santa is like an enigma wrapped in a mystery, not because of the urban myth, but because like he's this time management expert and great taskmaster, yet he drives his own sleigh. He delivers all of his own toys. Like if you needed all this help making them, wouldn't it stand to reason he would also need help delivering them? Like if you got the magical powers to deliver them, shouldn't you also have the magical powers to just poof, make them?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So that's a good point.
It says here, which is kind of interesting. It says the geographic North Pole is the northern point of the Earth's axis of rotation, which I think everyone knows. The North Pole is found in the Arctic Ocean on constantly shifting pieces of sea ice. The North Pole is not part of any nation, although Russia placed a titanium flag on the seabed in 2007.
See, Russians.
Yep. Russian hackers
Always the Russians.
are interfering with Christmas.
Yep. Look at that.
But it says here,
We need to get a dossier made on Santa. Because now that we know there's this Russian involvement, this all seems really shady. So you think about all those freaking years you got stuff, but you didn't get what you want, and you sent him a list.
Yeah.
He had a list. Russian interference.
But it says here that many nations are using bathymetric data. I don't know what that means. It says which maps the seafloor to claim parts of the Arctic Ocean, including the North Pole. Russia, Canada, and Denmark have all expressed an interest in claiming the area around the pole as an extension of their continental shelves.
Isn't there also a North Pole, Alaska?
There is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that we can claim Santa. We'll just say he's there.
Well, because we all know that Santa is an American, and he's a red-blooded patriot.
He wears red and white, and I think his drawers are blue. You just don't see him.
Exactly. Everybody knows that. I grew up learning that he hated communism, and he was spreading good cheer because communists don't like good cheer. But I grew up during the Cold War, so maybe that's a myth. I don't know.
How cold was the Cold War, John? Were you like wearing a coat and hat all the time? How cold was it?
The truth was I was, because I lived up near you. Live now. It was cold. I grew up in New Hampshire. It's cold. So that's
North Pole is a small Alaskan city near Fairbanks.
Yes.
It's known for its year-round Christmas decorations. I told you, Santa is a freaking American, including candy cane striped street lights. This has to be true. I'm reading on Google, and we all know they don't manipulate data in any way. Santa Claus's house is a Christmas store with walls covered in children's letters to Santa and a huge Santa statue outside. Streets have names like Kris Kringle Drive and Mistletoe Lane. Nearby, the Chena Lake recreation area has beaches, nature trails, and picnic areas. I am sure the beaches of North Pole, Alaska are filled with pristine sand. They radiate warmth and are wonderful all year long.
You got bikini clad models. Maybe.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah.
So in all seriousness, I had $1 million idea related to Christmas, and I just can't get anyone to invest in this. I think it'd be a great thing for like a Spencer's Gifts or somewhere like that. Are you ready? Are you sitting down?
I am.
Mistletoe belt buckle. Think about it. Like you have a little belt buckle that's got like kind of like a hook or a hanger or something. Hang mistletoe from it. It would be a great gag gift. Like people wear those ugly Christmas sweaters.
Yeah.
It's the perfect accessory for an ugly Christmas sweater. You got, hey, that's a great ugly Christmas sweater. You ain't seen nothing. Yeah, look at my mistletoe belt buckle. Clip it, Jamie. Clip it, Parker.
We're getting canceled. There's no doubt that we're getting canceled.
Seriously though, wouldn't that you would sell out small fortune of those at like a Spencer's Gifts?
But isn't have you ever just to kind of clarify everything, have you ever been into a
That needs clarification. It's pretty obvious what we're talking about.
No, it needs something like bleach or something. I'm not sure what it needs, but it needs something.
So, have you ever been inside of a Spencer's store?
I have.
And walked all the way to the very back of the store.
I have.
Yeah, I was 16 once. Yes.
You know what's on the back of some of these Spencer's stores?
Not now. I don't have no idea. I haven't been in a long time. But what's on the back wall?
Adult toys.
Yes,
Is that what you're trying to say?
And so if you were to sell mistletoe belt buckles, I feel like that would be immediately placed on the back wall.
Yeah, it'd be like adjacent. It'd be back wall adjacent, right?
Yeah.
There'd be like oils and lotions that you might buy in addition to the belt buckle. That would be on the back wall.
So would you make like mistletoe lotion to go with it as well, or?
No. You just, yeah, no. Peppermint, maybe.
This episode started out talking about Santa and talking about St. Nicholas.
I just had $1 million idea. The X Factor is having $1 million ideas too.
Yeah,
Where did these come from, Coach Brew? From my mind.
Yeah, we went off the rails very quickly. So,
well, mistletoe is like a Christmas item.
It is.
So yeah. Isn't there a song like I caught mommy kissing Santa Claus underneath the mistletoe? See?
Yes.
Look, I'm staying in the lane. I'm staying in our lane.
I don't think you've ever been in any lane at any point in time in your career.
So, like, think about it. Santa could totally be Me Too'd in 2020.
Oh,
if a kid saw mommy kissing Santa Claus under the mistletoe, he's getting Me Too'd.
Well, see, the mommy was kissing Santa Claus. The Santa Claus wasn't kissing mommy, though. So he might.
But did Santa get consent?
Oh, that's a good question.
You got all this revisionist history that takes place too now. Like, yeah, I worry about him. He could be. This might be the year Santa gets himself in trouble.
Well, I got a question for you guys. What Christmas tradition do you not like? Can you not stand?
How much time do you have?
Are you pro Mariah Carey or anti Mariah Carey?
I'm pro Mariah Carey when she has wardrobe malfunction.
No, that's a different.
That's somebody else.
That was Jackson. That was
Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson wasn't Mariah Carey.
Okay,
but she may have had
she sing Christmas songs too. No, I'm very pro Mariah Carey. I think she's great.
I am pro Mariah Carey too. Surprisingly,
yep.
I like her.
You need people to carry on the tradition. You know, it can't. Yes. You can't. She's way cuter than Bing Crosby and sounds better.
Yes.
You need people to carry on those traditions.
I agree. Eggnog. What about eggnog?
I'm pro eggnog, but you put bourbon in it.
Pro eggnog. Yeah. I like it with bourbon. Yes. Pro eggnog. Okay. Yeah. Candy. What about candy canes as a candy?
I think they make a nice accessory when you put them in like a mug of hot chocolate. Like make like a peppermint mocha sort of accessory to hot chocolate. I'm not a huge candy cane fan. I'm not an anti-candy cane. You know, I think, the candy cane industrial complex has strong lobbyists. I don't want to mess with them. But let me ask you this. A big debate on Twitter at Coach Brew, if you want to follow me. Last year, big debate. Stockings first or last?
Oh, good one. So stockings first in the Rennie household, always.
Why?
Or gifts.
Why?
Well, it's almost like a rodeo clown trying to distract the bull, right? We trying to distract our kids in the early morning. So you give them something they can play with, so that gives me a chance to wake up, get a cup of coffee, get the tree turned on and all that. So it's sort of like distracting the children.
I love that you just compared yourself to rodeo clown. So Parker, when you edit this, you can put like a big red nose on his face and makeup and like the rainbow clown wig.
You know,
And the oversized overalls like the rodeo clowns wear.
I'll fill his whole frame with just a big picture of just this massive clown face.
Oh, make him the clown and have a bull about to just stampede him. That'd be good. But no, I love the fact that it's like sleight of hand almost. So you distract them with, little trinkets and small gifts while you set up the big stuff. Yeah, we always did stocking. Well, I'll ask Parker next. First or last? Stockings.
So when I was growing up, my dad always wakes up at like 4 a.m. Like literally every morning wakes up at like 4 a.m. So he would always like my mom and my dad would wake up, my mom, and they would go downstairs and go ahead and set up everything. I don't know how they did it. I was always so impressed and thankful for it all. But
well, when you're older, your prostate will wake you up at 4 a.m. too. Don't worry.
But it was always the stockings would already be out, and basically we would look through the stockings. It was kind of like all mashed together in a way.
Really? They weren't hung by the chimney with care?
No, they were, but they would take them down to set on our individual stuff. So like my brother would have his like section, my sister would have her section, and
so wait. Let's this is a good question. So they would
OCD family Christmas.
This is OCD family Christmas. So they would set up the gifts per child. So you had your own stack of stuff.
Yeah, so it would be like I don't know how they even did this, but they were very organized and to where like whose stuff was where. So like my sisters would be like on one side, and then my brothers would be on the other side, and I would be in the middle because I'm the middle child. So it was interesting. But now it's more of, I would say stockings probably come first now.
Okay.
But when I was growing up, it was kind of all mixed together.
Yeah, we do color coded gift wrapping. Like, red wrapping paper would be for one kid, and like the green wrapping paper would be for the other. So there's no confusion if a tag fell off. Yeah. Growing up as a kid,
that's not OCD?
Not at all. I openly admit I'm so OCD. I spell it CDO, so the letters are in alphabetical order. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. So as a kid growing up, we did stockings last.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
sad. I don't even know why, other than like, I don't know, Brubaker family Christmas tradition. I don't know. But I just always thought, because I didn't know otherwise, I just thought that's the way you did things. And then got married, and my wife's like, no, you don't do stockings last, you do stockings first. And
so is it an appetizer or a dessert? That's really the question.
Yeah. So, and this is to answer your question about like traditions I do not endorse. There's something within the stocking tradition I do not endorse, but I do think stockings first is brilliant with kids because it buys you time, whether it's the sleight of hand, you got to take care of some of the stuff under the tree, like you said, John, or like if you're waiting for grandma and grandpa to get to the house on Christmas morning, you kind of throw them a bone with, letting them open some stocking stuff first before you get to the big stuff when the grandparents arrive or when the rest of the family arrives. So yeah, it's it buys you time. But the stocking issue, the thing I have serious issue with.
Okay, well, let's hear it, because I have one too.
A freaking orange in the toe of the stocking?
What is with the orange? I had the same thing growing up. We always had an orange at the bottom of a stocking. Why an orange?
Give me a baseball.
Yeah.
A popcorn ball.
Yes. Yeah.
Like a great big thing of chocolate, like anything that isn't health food on Christmas Day.
I always thought, like, because we grew up kind of lower middle class, I always thought like, it was like a filler. Like, my dad was like, well, we don't have much this year. Well, how about an orange from the kitchen? So I thought it was just me that would get the orange on. So that's maybe there's some tradition there that I didn't know about. So you got the orange as well too.
Yeah, I always hated stockings as a kid for one reason. Like, I also grew up lower middle class, and my stocking always would bear a striking resemblance to my desk in school. Not my desk at home, my desk at school, because it would have like a tablet, pens, pencils,
Oh, like school supplies.
school supplies. And here's why. My mom was a school nurse in the school district.
Oh,
So she would raid the supply closet and like jam boxes of pens and pencils and note cards and tablets and things in her purse and take them home right before Christmas. And then magically I'd get a box of pencils that looked exactly like the box of pencils at the school.
Wow.
Yay.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mom was a nurse, so I didn't get any syringes or anything, like any bandages. I'm thankful for, at least I didn't get that.
So yeah, that's my Christmas tradition. I do not endorse the orange in the sock. Parker?
I'm gonna be honest. This is the first time that I've heard an orange in the stocking. That
I like your parents a lot already.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's at the bottom of your stocking typically?
you know what? I think the bottom of my stocking is actually like freaking like bathroom like supplies, like deodorant,
like shaving cream, deodorant,
shaving cream, stuff like that.
Practical gifts, not an orange that someone just grabbed at the kitchen the last minute. Said we need more stuff.
Yeah, so it's almost like you could go to the store, because I don't know how much. Well, actually, shaving cream, you can go like Walmart, you can get shaving cream for what, like 90 cents or $1 or something like that. So I mean, it's almost the same price as what like an orange would be nowadays.
Yeah, I think it might have been also like, oh crap, we didn't get enough to fill the stocking, so there's not going to be like stuff overflowing out of it. So hey, let's jam. I remember one year I found a grapefruit in the bottom of the stocking. I was a little older, so like at this point, I knew that Santa might not be real, and I apologize to anyone who has their kids in the car who just heard that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's real.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, like wow, this grapefruit looks exactly like the other grapefruits that are in the fruit basket in the kitchen table. Just saying.
It could be, now that I really think about it, it could be just like, because maybe they don't want the gifts to, or the everything on top to like sink down into like the like sock too far. You know what I'm saying? Like in the stocking.
I think you're giving a lot of parents way too much credit.
Yeah, no, I
think not all parents are as wonderful and thoughtful as yours.
Yeah,
some put oranges in their kids' stockings.
What's interesting, John, is you had an orange and I had an orange. It wasn't any other fruit. It wasn't an apple, a banana, a pear. Yep. It was an orange.
Yep.
I wonder if there's some sort of like
Parker, look it up.
So yeah, Parker, you think there's anything? Is there some weird tradition? Oh, while you're looking that up, let me tell you this: do you guys ever get the chocolate gold coins at all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So did you know that also traces its roots back to the original St. Nicholas? So he was known for giving gold coins to children. And so the tradition of a chocolate gold coin actually comes from the original St. Nicholas.
So apparently the economy was doing much better back then. He could afford to give real gold coins.
Correct. Yes.
Now it's just chocolate foil.
This is before the days of quantitative easing.
Yes. Budget cuts.
So is there any truth behind or any reason behind an orange in a stocking, or is that, are we just crazy? We just had crazy parents.
According to this Wiki Answers, which Wikipedia is obviously they have answered the truth.
Absolutely.
Everything. But it says on this site, it says people put oranges in stockings because during the Depression they couldn't afford any gifts except an orange.
Ah,
perfect.
My grandparents grew up in the Depression, so I wondered if their parents did that to them, and they just my parents did it to me.
Yeah, like it's just a tradition, and they didn't know why it was done. It was just done. Kind of like the old story of like, why do you cut the end of the roast off? Well, because that's the way my mom did it, and my grandmother did it, and my great grandmother did it. And then like the real reason is because it wouldn't fit in the great grandmother's pan unless she
Yes.
cut the end of it off.
I
But no one
love
knew
that story.
otherwise. So
I love
Yeah,
that
well,
story.
actually, it says here, here's another one. A more like traditional reason of putting oranges in a stocking is because oranges symbolize the season of giving, and Nicholas and poor shopkeeper with $3 the gifts. Oh wait. Oh, this is like a Christmas story. But yeah, oranges symbolize the season of giving.
Hmm.
Thus, giving of oranges in Christmas stockings is a symbol of charity and giving.
aren't they out of season though?
Yeah, that's interesting. So that's what I was thinking too. It's out of season. So
Yeah.
how could this be an old tradition? Because
It's marketing hype.
it is.
Yep.
And then
I bet it's the orange industry.
It's
They
the
pushed it.
citrus industrial complex, John, right?
It's big,
But
big citrus.
it also says here another like there's so I'm like looking this up and there's multiple different reasons. So here's another one. So it says here, what does an orange in a stocking mean? Saint Nicholas traveled to the house and tossed 3 sacks of gold down the chimney for each of the I guess dowries. I don't know what that means.
There's a whole story on that. I could tell you that. I did research on the dowries, but keep going.
Yeah, it says the gold happened to land in each of the girls' stockings, which were hanging by the fire to dry. The oranges we receive today are a symbol of the gold that was left in the stockings.
Interesting.
So there's another kind of
Because he did that. So the original Saint Nicholas.
So it is quantitative easing.
It is. It is. Yeah, the original Saint Nicholas did do that. So there was a father who had 3 daughters, and back in those days, your daughters couldn't get married unless the father had a dowry to provide to the husband. And this particular poor man had 3 daughters, and he had no money. And so I guess at the time that the women actually went into slavery if they couldn't find a husband. And so the story that I read or researched showed that over the course of 3 nights, he delivered 3 bags of gold to this family so that the daughters could get married, so they would have a dowry to get married. So that is actually that has some basis in fact, but everything I researched didn't say he actually put it in a stocking by the chimney with care. He just.
Well, it's just great to know that bribery's been alive and well for centuries.
It is, absolutely. Yeah. So if you don't have enough money for your daughter to get married, they go into slavery. That was the tradition back then. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, at least according to what I researched. So it is a dark. So maybe the orange has a gold color, and that's the tradition. It represents gold, which is similar to the gold chocolate coins.
Yeah, and that's what basically it was saying online from what I read. It was talking about how nowadays people put it in because oranges are like a symbol of like giving, but they also could be represented as like gold. So.
So I think, don't you think that some of this is also part of Santa's X factor? Is you don't really know exactly, there are versions of the truth around him and like the allure of him and the holiday, but you don't know the exact truth. And I think with a lot of X Factor brands, and Santa is a brand, there's tradition, but you don't necessarily know the rationale, but it sure sounds good.
Right. They become legendary, right? People with X Factor like St. Nicholas, they're legendary. They're people, the stories follow them. They grow out from, they emanate from them, and people don't even know what the truth is anymore.
Yeah. And a lot of people will take credit, or a lot of locales will take credit for that legend. So like, how many countries want to own a piece of the North Pole?
I think it was like 4 or 5 different.
Yeah, because of Santa. Even though the real North, we know he's American, and the real North Pole is in Alaska. So like the other example I would give you is, how about Paul Bunyan?
Yeah.
How many states in the United States want to lay claim to the fact this is the home of Paul Bunyan? It's where he's from. Maine, Wisconsin, Minnesota are the first 3 that come to mind for me. I'm sure there are plenty of others, but they all think like that he's from there, or they want to think that because there's a lot of wood harvesting, and the timber industry is big in those states, and he's a lumberjack. So yeah, it's really interesting. Like that's the X factor there, is when a lot of different people, want to lay claim to your legend.
Right. Or, how many times do you see like George Washington slept here, right?
He slept around, that guy, huh?
Apparently he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the Will Chamberlain of his generation.
I don't know if I can do these podcasts anymore. I can't. Yeah, we're gonna
different kind of sleeping around.
There's no doubt.
Different kind of sleeping around. Yeah.
So that's it. That's it. That's all I have on Saint Nicholas and Santa, and is clearly a person who has the X factor. There's no doubt.
He's clearly an American who has the X factor.
Right.
Santa is red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue. He hates communists, and he gives because he's a generous man.
But
I leave Santa a can of Budweiser and some beef jerky on the coffee table next to the tree. And is there anything more American than that? Maybe some KFC?
And maybe some Buffalo Trace. Shout out to Buffalo
No free
Trace.
shout outs.
We're looking for a sponsor. I'm trying to encourage them.
So yeah, Julian Van Winkle, if you're listening to this, we'd love to have Pappy Van Winkle as a sponsor. Yeah,
well, you're just going for the legend right there.
Well, wait,
you swing for the fences, man.
Swing for the fences.
They'd be lucky to have us.
Yes, exactly.
Right? But John.
Yes,
John.
What?
In this season of giving, this festive holiday, is there anything that you would like to promote shamelessly as we give the gift of our wisdom?
Well, I would encourage people, especially if you have leaders or future leaders in your sphere of influence, you're looking for a gift.
Or your boss is a jerk.
Or if your boss is a jerk. So you go to ihavethewatch.com and you can get a signed autographed copy of my latest best-selling book, I Have the Watch, Becoming a Leader Worth Following.
Hang on. You say latest best-selling book.
Yes.
This is like a little too much of a humble brag, my friend.
Yes.
Your book, the one, by the way, was my idea, and I encourage you to write, and has my name on the front cover because I wrote the foreword. How long has that been on the bestseller list?
It's been over a year now on the bestseller list. So yeah, ihavethewatch.com, still a bestseller. And I think you can see John Brubaker's name on there somewhere, can you? Yep. I don't know.
Yep, there it is.
So the foreword was written by the great and powerful Coach Brew. And we have been on the bestseller list for over a year now. So yeah, that's
no small accomplishment. Seriously, folks.
It's I don't know. I don't know if you can see signed by Coach Brew there himself. Forward written by Coach Brew. But yeah, we're 12 months on the bestseller list. Can't believe it. It's hard to believe. But go to ihavethewatch.com, and it's a great gift. I've got probably about 60 more copies I can give out for the Christmas holidays. So get them before they run out. So how about you, Coach Brew? What could you? If your
boss is a jerk, how about
if your boss is a jerk? Yeah, you go to ihavethewatch.com, and we actually have a promo code. And if you use the code BOSS, I will send it to your bad boss anonymously, and they can and I'll put a nice message in there for them that, hey, read this book. It'll help you, maybe improve your position as a leader.
With a piece of coal sold separately. So yeah, ihavethewatch.com, go there. That's a good gift. Coach Brew, what about you? What kind of opportunities can people get from you this Christmas? I want to give people a gift.
Yes.
It's like the gift that keeps on giving all year long. That's if you go to coachbrew.com, that's coachbru.com, and you sign up for my email list, you will receive a complimentary copy of my premium $99 a month newsletter for my membership community, which Jon Rennie is a member of. He's a card-carrying member of the Underdog Nation. Mm-hmm. And you will get a complimentary issue as like a free sneak peek or preview for joining my email list. $99 value. And that is 12 ways to, this particular issue is 12 ways to double your results. And who doesn't want to do that as you're making New Year's resolutions to be better in 2021? What was that website again, DFE?
CoachBrew.com.
There you have it, and there it is.
Hey, I'm going to show you something for those who are watching on YouTube. You can't see this if you're listening in on the podcast, but this is a baseball bat. I don't know if you can quite see that, but this is something that I got from Coach Brew, being a part of the membership community, yesterday's underdogs. And he gave this to me when I became a best-selling author. So I have a very nice, very awesome baseball bat that has my name on it and about being a best-selling author. So that's the kind of thing that you get when you're part of that community. And it's a powerful community of leaders and entrepreneurs, coaches. And I highly encourage you guys to check that out. What is the website for that,
again,
Coach
John?
Brew?
Hold that thing up again.
All right, I got it right here.
This is a former military officer who served on a nuclear sub in the Cold War, who now literally walks softly and carries a big stick. Look at that.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So how can you find out about yesterday's underdogs, Coach
They can
Brew?
go to yesterdaysunderdog.com.
Yes, absolutely. And I really see, if you're listening to this, you're a leader, you're an entrepreneur, and you want to really up your game, that's a great place to find a community of people.
Awesome. Parker, anything you want to promote?
Just promote this podcast and both y'all's links, which will be in the description down below. And if you're listening through the podcast app on Anchor, I will also put all the details for both of their accounts down below as well.
And people can leave us a message on the Anchor podcast app too. They want to leave a voicemail. They have questions for the show or any stuff like that.
Please do. Questions, anything. We'll throw them out there. I'll be reading all the messages we get. I'll be responding back immediately. So anything and everything helps.
You heard them, folks. Go there, subscribe, click the notifications so you get alerts, and rate, review, shamelessly promote this so we can call you a P1 listener. What's the P1? John? P1?
Somebody that is such a good fan that they program us on the number one preset on their radio. So we are a P1 fan is someone that is a hardcore follower of this show and fully supports what we're doing and will be actively sharing our content with other people.
Yeah. And if you're a P2 or a P3s are just kind of along for the ride. They get the free podcast. Maybe they don't subscribe. You want to become a P2 or a P1, you need to subscribe, rate, review, and share. And that will get you to P1 status with us.
Absolutely.
So go do that now. You got your marching orders. What are you waiting for? This is over. Go home.
Go home. Get it done. Well, Merry Christmas to everyone who's listening. And thank you for listening to the XFactor podcast. And again, if you like this podcast, please subscribe and share.
Happy Festivus for the rest of us.